Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive, global celebration that's built entirely on a foundation of faith, sacrifice, and love. We're talking about Eid al-Adha, commonly known as Bakrid. For millions of families, this isn't just another holiday to check off the calendar. It's a deeply profound moment of communal devotion. But to truly wrap our heads around its impact today, we've got to rewind and look at its ancient roots.
So, have you ever actually stopped to wonder why we celebrate Bakrid? To really understand the heart of these beautiful traditions, we have to travel way back in time. Why do millions of people engage in these very specific rituals every single year? Well, it's not just some customary gathering. It's actually a reenactment of a very specific, deeply emotional moment in history.
So let's jump right into Section 1, the origins of Eid and Prophet Ibrahim's ultimate test.
The historical anchor of this entire holiday centers around what is, honestly, an unimaginable trial. Think about the sheer contrast for a second. On one hand, Allah asked Prophet Ibrahim to sacrifice the one thing he loved most in the world, his beloved son. It completely defies human comprehension, right? But on the other hand, you have Ibrahim's reaction. Zero hesitation. I mean, none. It was just a pure, absolute demonstration of trust and faith.
But here's the beautiful twist. Before the sacrifice could actually happen, Allah mercifully intervened and replaced the son with an animal. And this brings us to a timeless lesson that sits at the very core of the holiday. It is not the blood or meat that reaches him, but our intention, our faith, and our willingness to sacrifice. Basically, the physical act, that's secondary. What really matters is the purity of the human heart.
Moving right along to Section 2, preparing for the holiday, timing, and traditions.
10. That is the magic number here. It sets the rhythm for the entire global community. Eid al-Adha officially lands on the 10th day of the Islamic month of Dhul Hijjah. It acts almost like a spiritual countdown, building this incredible, palpable anticipation for families everywhere. Plus, it literally happens right after the sacred pilgrimage of Hajj. To put that into perspective, this specific timing elegantly links the global celebration of Eid to the completion of the Hajj in Mecca. So millions of people around the world are simultaneously syncing up their local celebrations with folks who have just finished one of the most significant spiritual journeys of their entire lives. It's just a beautifully synchronized moment of global faith. And the physical preparations actually mirror the spiritual ones. First, homes are scrubbed top to bottom, making sure the surroundings, and more importantly, everyone's hearts feel completely fresh. Then, an animal is carefully selected. And finally, there's this quiet, eager wait to spot the moon. These really tactile, real-world steps do a fantastic job of preparing the mind for profound gratitude. Now, before we go any further, we really need to talk about Qurbani. This is the central, solemn act of choosing and sacrificing an animal to honor Ibrahim's obedience. It's the literal bridge connecting ancient history to modern everyday practice. And as families pick out their animal, there's this really beautiful dynamic that unfolds. Picture a father gently explaining the process to his child. It reveals an essential truth. Sacrifice begins with kindness and love. Kids learn compassion right out of the gate. They realize you absolutely cannot fulfill this solemn duty without starting from a place of deep, genuine care. Which brings us to Section 3, the day of celebration, joy, prayer, and togetherness. Once that moon is officially spotted, all that quiet anticipation just explodes into a vibrant morning. Families dressed to the nines in fresh, beautiful clothes, greeting each other with big hugs and Eid Mubarak. They head out to the mosque together as a community. And the whole vibe of the morning, it's just about spreading pure joy and kindness to literally everyone you see.
Now for Section 4, the true spirit of sacrifice, turning faith into action.
This is probably the emotional peak of the whole experience, the Qurbani itself. For a child, naturally, it feels kind of sad to say goodbye to an animal they've been caring for. But parents use this emotional weight to teach something profound. They explain they are doing it for Allah. It takes a tough, difficult emotion and transforms it into a literal masterclass on absolute trust and devotion. And here is where the real magic happens. The meat from the sacrifice, it is absolutely never hoarded. It's purposefully divided up. Sure, a portion is kept for the family, but the rest is sent out, shared with friends, neighbors, and crucially, given directly to those in need. It creates this amazing, tangible safety net so that absolutely nobody goes hungry on Eid. For the kids watching this happen, it's a massive light bulb moment. They get to see firsthand that sharing brings real happiness to others. That outward happiness,
That is kindness in action. So any initial sadness from the sacrifice is just instantly replaced by the incredible warmth of giving back to the community. As the evening eventually rolls in, the day winds down with food. We're talking mountains of specially prepared dishes filling homes with just the most incredible aromas. Then comes the wildly anticipated Eid, where the elders hand out money or gifts to the kids, which is a great way to teach financial wisdom and generosity. The whole thing culminates in this really profound sense of peaceful, exhausted gratitude. It all basically boils down to what a father might whisper to his sleepy kid at the end of the day. Faith, kindness, love, and sharing. That is Eid. Those 4 core values are exactly what transform an ancient historical event into a living, breathing celebration that brings out the absolute best in human nature year after year. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to just take a second and really think about this. Even if you don't celebrate Bakrid yourself, how can you practice a little more kindness and love today? How can you bring some intentional sharing or even just absolute trust into your own world? Chew on that as you go about your day. Keep learning, keep questioning, and definitely keep sharing.